Back now on Triad today, just about time for the Roundtable. Another quick shout out to our friends here at the Senior Botanical Garden. Check out the website, check out the garden year round. Lots of things going on. You can rent the facility. It's great. You can't rent these guys, but you can borrow them. On my right, but always a political left, Ogie Gilberman, the great broadcaster and journalist who has a pig tie on for some reason. We'll get to that later. Back behind him, two good guys, David Daggett, who you saw in an earlier segment, talking about the big event coming up at the Dash Stadium, and Keith Granberry, founder of Helping Hands Consultants. Guys, on a very serious topic, let's start with Governor Cooper just commuted the life sentences of 3 people, including a 46-year-old woman who at age 15 murdered her grandparents by burning them up in their house. Are you okay with releasing murderers from their life sentence just because they were under 18 when they were convicted, Ogie?
Well, not across the board, but this case, I think, I happen to know her lawyer quite well. She's been an exemplary prisoner. If anybody deserves to get out a bit early, I think it's this woman.
David.
Yeah, I agree with Ogie. Across the board, I would say no. However, I would examine them on a case-by-case basis. I don't know the specifics of this one.
Keith.
I've heard the specifics on this, and I think she deserves to be out. I think that a lot of people coming up in certain environments and they're committing crimes when they're young, they should have an opportunity to be free.
You guys are more liberal than I am on that. Somebody burned up my grandparents and killed them. I don't care if they were 15 or not, but anyway, I'll go on to something else. Parents in Guilford County have received promotional flyers about an after-school evangelical program being held at Moorhead Elementary and Montlou Academy and run by a Christian organization. Guys, are you okay with public school buildings hosting religious after-school programs, Ogie?
No, not really. There's plenty of facilities out there, plenty of venues they could find to host their event. Doesn't need to be in a school.
Mr. Daggett.
You know I'm fairly devout. However, I believe separation of church and state is necessary for survival of both. And I think we got to be very careful with these situations.
Mr. Granberry.
I think we have to be careful, but if there's something that is in support of the kids, and it's an after-school program that's supporting these kids, I think that they should find a way to make that happen.
Could be a positive influence.
Absolutely.
The Washington Post reports that over the past decade, taxpayers in 25 major cities have foot the bill for the cost of settling cases of alleged misconduct by nearly 8,000 police officers and sheriff's deputies. Now, I know this is an obscure question, but guys, are you okay with public monies being spent to settle misconduct cases? Or should individual officers be required to carry their own liability insurance to cover these kind of settlements? Ogie.
Well, first of all, I think cops deserve to make more money. And if that's the case, they should be able to afford to take out their own liability. I don't think that's taxpayer dollar-wise decision to
David,
do.
we're paying for settlements.
Well, if there's an avenue of recourse and there's liability, there has to be the avenue somewhere. It wouldn't be through the individuals, so it has to be through the organization. In this case, the organization happens to be the government, and I think that's the way it has to work.
Keith.
I think it has to go through the government because we have to make people held accountable for their action. If you're just holding the individual accountable, that means the organization is let off the hook. You have to make the organization pay for bad cops.
I didn't think about that. Now, good point. We've just learned that the 2020 census undercounted nearly 19 million Black, Latino, and Indigenous people. Should congressional maps now be redrawn again to reflect the undercounted populations? Maybe not for this primary, but eventually. Ogie.
I think so, Jim, because it was intentionally undercounted. Trump did everything he could to eliminate, to move up the deadlines, to make sure that we couldn't go and recount certain areas that happened to be Black, Latino, poor. It was all Trump's doing.
Should things be redrawn again,
Well,
David?
I think we need to draw lines and make decisions based on accurate information. From everything I've seen and heard, the 2020 census is not accurate information. If it's not accurate information, we need to recalculate what we're doing.
We don't know how the maps would be affected by the 19 million, but what do you think?
You mean to tell me that they didn't count 19 million Black and Indigenous people? Are you serious? I cannot believe this. Of course it needs to be withdrawn.
All right. We'll have to get the thing redrawn one way or the other. A bill is pending in Congress that would limit the money we spend to support ex-presidents who are getting multi-millions of dollars to operate offices and things each year, plus pensions. These guys are worth Clinton and Obama and everybody 70, 80, 90 million dollars. They make $500,000 for a speech. Should we, very quickly, guys, should we stop subsidizing wealthy ex-presidents? Ogie.
Subsidize them less. They deserve a pension of sorts, but not millions and millions of dollars, plus Secret Service protection, too.
David.
Yeah, so I look at the infrastructure type issues. We need to provide them with appropriate security for appropriate events in appropriate circumstances. There needs to be some limit on that.
Keith.
I think that they should be provided the amount of coverage that they have now, because there are only a few presidents. I mean, when you get to that limit, you should be able to get all the benefits that you coming to you, and I think it's fair.
Bill Clinton's got $90 million in the bank.
But he earned it. He earned that money because he became the president of the United States.
That's less than quarterbacks are making.
Quickly on this one, yes or no, daylight savings time finally going to be voted on by the House? Will it pass or not to make it permanent?
It's a no-brainer. It's a done deal.
David.
No brainer, but I'm an early bird. I want it to be permanent standard time.
Keith,
They should name it Keith Granberry time. How about that? Huh? Can we do that, Jim?
Yeah, I know what they should name it. And finally, guys, this goes back to Ogie's tie. A man in upstate New York is at odds with local officials about his pet pig. They say it's illegal for a man to keep livestock in town. He says it's not livestock, it's a support animal. Guys, do you think a pig should qualify as a support animal? And would you like to be supported by a pig, Ogie?
I love pigs. I think they're perfect support animals. They're smart, they're clean, they can be taught things, they cuddle, they do.
So can David. David, what do you think?
I think I want Ogie as my support animal. That's what I think.
Keith, you think a pig should be a support? You've been supported by a pig, or?
Yeah, I've been supported by some pigs. I have.
Oh, man, that's it for this. That's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. Hey, just recently, it's a true story. A live chicken got loose in the Pentagon, started running around in secure areas. Nobody knew how he got there. Rumor has it that he got clearance by Colonel Sanders.
Ooh.
So you get that colonel in the military.
Right.
Very clever.
All right. And what did you say earlier? Never mind.
No.
All right. I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.